We're here at the Southampton Boat Show, and look what is right in front of me here. As you can see from the proudly announced words on the bow, this is the world premiere of the new Bavaria Vida 33. Now, if it looks a little bit familiar to you, that's because we have seen something quite similar before. In fact, it started life as the Green Line Neo, but Bavaria have bought the rights to it. They are now building it, and they've made a number of very interesting changes to it which have actually improved its usability and its sailability, crucially. So prices for this start at £149,000 ex taxes, with a twin 150 horsepower engines, so roughly about £170,000 including VAT. This particular one has obviously got the engine upgrade. We can see the 300 horsepower and lots of optional extras, which take the price of this particular one fully delivered with tax up to about £298,000. So let's take a closer look and see what your money buys you. So first up is this rather fancy hydraulic platform. Now, it's quite unusual to have a hydraulic platform with outboard engines. Obviously the engines need to lift up, so you've got to have quite a comprehensive piece of kit, and this is exactly that. You can see here the folding steps. This goes right down into the water, and then you get a lovely set of steps down into the water, but crucially it also lifts up, because you want to be able to lift those engines up to keep the propellers and drives out of the water. So if you see here, if we press the on button, hang on a second, there we go, you've got the green light, and then press the button, you can see the platform starting to rise up, and that lifts up not just to the level, it carries on going all the way up. I won't take it the whole way, but you get the picture. So it provides a platform up. If you're berthed at a tall town quay, you can step right off the platform onto the quay, but crucially it also provides clearance for those engines so that you can lift them right up and keep the propellers out of the water, reducing any corrosion issues, any fouling issues. Really helpful. It's one of the big advantages of an outboard engine setup. So really nice to be able to have that bathing platform with the outboard engines. Now, at the stern end of the boat, we've got this, it's currently set up as a sunbathing area, but maybe if I ask this nice chap here, he can demonstrate how it's more than just a sunbathing platform. You can see the backrests fold up, and then the whole thing slides backwards and forwards. So again, it just makes more space or more use of the space that's there. You can see it slides right back up to the outboard engines. So again, that's all part of the process of enabling them to lift up. So the whole bench slides forward, but also it creates a load more space inside the cockpit itself. Very useful way of making the most of all the available space. And you can see that that seat extension goes all the way back there, so you still get that full wrap of L-shaped seating. Now then, big table here. Again, you can see that's on telescopic legs. It's manual rather than electric, but they sink down, and it means you can convert this whole area into one massive sunbed. I'm kind of not sure why you need quite that much, but I'm assured that on a day boat you definitely need all the sunbathing space you can get. Now, under here there is masses of storage. See if I can lift this one up, but you can see just how much storage. There's all the covers down there at the moment, but this is one of several really large storage areas on the boat. Always useful to have. You can't have too much storage, and those covers are because you can see all the way around this hardtop there is a zip, which you can zip the whole thing up, including these open window sections here, and completely enclose this whole area. So if it's not such a nice day, it does mean you can enclose the whole place off and have it as a proper enclosed boat. Now, the other big change up here is this. You can see there is a vast fabric sunroof. They've kept it nice and simple. It's a purely manual one. Literally just slide it backwards and forwards. Very nice and light, easy to do. Nothing to go wrong, but creates a lovely big void up here. And in fact, there's another one back here. So you can see this too opens up to completely open the whole cockpit up to really allow the sun to pour in. It's a really simple but significant change that transforms it. If you're on a day boat, it's nice to be able to have the shade, but also it's nice to be able to open it up when you want to enjoy the sun. Now over on here there's a big wet bar, and again that has just been pushed back against the side of the boat just to free up more space. So there's a really big walkway here. On some boats this side it's very easy to feel a bit cramped. You're always trying to walk past, squeeze past someone, but this is a big beamy day boat. There is plenty of space here. In fact, it's much bigger than you'd normally feel on or feels much bigger than it would normally be on a 32-foot boat, and that is because of that wide beam. Now, little folding tap there, bin underneath on that side. This has been fully spec'd up, so you've got a gas hob here, so you can cook when you're out at sea, but there's also an electric sort of ceramic grill. It's like a sort of hot stone, so you can cook your steaks or burgers on that. There is a fridge under this side, and at the moment it's just a big locker, but I'm told there is going to be a drawer that comes out of that, fully sort of fiddled for all your cutlery. So plenty of storage space, a really comprehensive wet bar that's more of an outside galley than just a tiny wet bar. Now this one is also spec'd up with a second fridge. You can see there's a fridge under there. Can't have too much cooling space. You want to have lots of nice cold drinks and snacks on board. Another big storage area. I'm not going to bother lifting this one, you get the idea. It's really got quite a high freeboard, so this deck is all on one level, but it does mean there's lots of storage underneath. So there's fuel tanks under here, there's water tanks, but there's also a lot of storage space. Now, 3 very smart Helm seats. You can see they've all got folding armrests and bolster cushions. They don't slide forward and backwards because they're mounted on this permanent plinth, and here is in fact the controls for the stereo system. And whilst we're down here you can also see all this LED strip lighting under, gives a nice kind of mood lighting effect at night. And then the Helm station, they're quite tall, these seats, so you can see there is a footrest down here when you're perched up on the seats. Stainless steel cup holder, wireless phone charger, all the systems very neatly done actually on this sort of touchpad screen. Rather than having lots of little individual switches, they're all on this simple touchpad screen. Got the controls for the roof, for the anchor, got all the systems, cabin, cockpit lights. I think those are just cockpit lights, roof lights rather than the roof itself, because that's manual. Bilge pumps, that's the aft platform, so you've got an indicator to see exactly where you've got the aft platform set. You've got active trim for the outboard engines. The Mercury throttle controls, obviously twin, you can sync them so that you can drive them off one lever. You've got the port and starboard trim for the outboard engines and a bow thruster. Nice open sections here, so although you have got protection from the screen, it comes up this far, this area is open, means you can get a nice through flow of air, big windscreen wiper and a large single section screen. It makes a big difference. I know it's a simple thing, but if you have too many mullions you often lose sight of things behind them. So there's just this one quite thick mullion here, but the main section of screen is all one part. Now while we're up here, let's go forward onto the bow. You can see this section opens. You've got 2 locking levers there, and then a handle that you just lift up and over. Gently put that down, and then there's another little gate section here that pops open and clips in. And this boat is fitted with the sun pad option. So on this one you can see there's a big sun pad here, but you can have this all fitted out as a second sort of bow cockpit area. So you can have a table around here, slightly sunken decks and seating around, so you can have a really nice sociable seating area out on the foredeck. You lose a little bit of headroom down below, but it's nice to have that option. You can go for either version essentially. Now you can see how wide the beam is here. It's not a thin pointy bow, it's quite wide, and there is the through hull anchor poking out there, nice stainless steel one, and an anchor locker with the electric windlass. You can see there's a load of stainless steel chain down there and lots of storage space for lines and fenders, as well as the chain itself. And this kind of semi walk around deck that doesn't actually lead to a side deck. There is no side deck because it's full beam, but it does mean it's very easy to put your lines and fenders out on either side. And although this is quite low, it has got these nice deep toe caps, so it feels very safe even though you haven't actually got a guardrail as such, well, not at waist height, but it's nice and easy to move around. Now dropping back down into the cockpit area, and let's go down and have a look. Now it is very much a day boat, this, rather than a cruising boat, but there is quite a decent cabin down here. Now this is obviously set up as a dinette at the moment, but you can see that table drops down and makes up into a berth. There's fill-in cushions for that, and that whole thing becomes a double berth. Some nice storage around it, blinds for the windows that drop down, a couple of reading lights, and if we come further forward, you can just see that lifts up and there's more storage down there. But most importantly of all, what everybody wants to see on a big day boat like this is a good heads compartment. And here we have not just a heads compartment, it is a proper bathroom. You can see there's a draining section there, a shower, sink, and the toilet tucked down there. So as well as being a day heads, it is a proper little bathroom. So you can certainly stay on board for a weekend or so as a couple and still have all the amenities you need. So that is the Bavaria Vida 33. We'll just step off the platform again, have a final look. There you can see that hardtop, the twin outboard engines. You can see what I mean by really deep freeboard. Should mean it's a nice dry boat. Should be able to take quite a decent sea. And there is that through hull anchor. So that is our tour of the world premiere of the Bavaria Vida 33. Thank you very much for watching. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll bring you more boat tours, sea trials, and other great stories from around the boating world. Thanks again for watching.